All right, guys, we're about to watch Conor McGregor take on Max Holloway. UFC 329. Let's get into it. I got Max Holloway beating the bricks off him. Here we go, round one. Ooh. Did you hear this angle already?
Max ain't playing.
Canvas.
His shits.
What's going on?
Well, boys, it is what it is. I bet you when he ran into that kick, he probably broke his shit. Well, those guys just made the easiest paycheck of their lives. Well, boys, I hope you guys enjoyed this instant reaction. Let us go ahead and get into the live and break this down, okay?
I don't know if we ever see Conor McGregor again. He broke the left leg last time. This time we don't know the injury, but it looks like he's blown a knee out.
And I wasn't being insulting now when I said that, because this sport is a bitch. This sport is a bitch. I've got one eye. I've got no knees. I've got fake knees. I live in constant neck pain. I have a deformed wrist. You can see that there. And that's just the beginning of my injury. This sport is a tough sport. Okay, it is one of the toughest sports on the planet, but it's also one of the best and one of the most rewarding. And Conor McGregor's had an incredible career.
It's probably a little unfulfilling tonight. So just as you sit there right now, just can you process what unfolded?
Yeah, I mean, I had the man weak in the knees, I guess. So, you know, all jokes aside, I just hope he's good. You know, I know Conor been battling some stuff. Looked like he really been changing. You know, he found God. He had his kids in there. So, you know, during the fight, you could obviously tell his demeanor changed, you know. And I was, you know, shout out to the ref. I was trying to tell the ref sooner, you know. Like, this guy's kids is front row, you know. I don't want to see him take unnecessary damage. Trying to stop the fight, but this is how crazy Conor is. The first time he's on the ground, I was punching him. He's like, fight. I was like, okay. That's why I backed up. I said, stand up then. Let's fight. And then he fell back down, and then the fight was called.
I mean, you've been in the UFC octagon more than anybody, right? But I just wonder, like, I mean, you knew you had a wounded guy, but it's almost hard for you to stay mentally focused. Like, hold on, remember what we're here to do. You know, I got to go hurt this guy.
Not at all, you know. We're killers. But at the end of the day, I'm a human being, you know what I mean? I think so. That's why I'm so loved in this sport, because I can actually separate the fighter from the person. So when I saw him hurt, you know, I was like, man, come on, like, you call this. He was done, you know, and he wanted to fight. Tried to stand up again, fell back down. I just hope him a speedy recovery, you know. It's all love to him. The man, like I said, is trying to change his life around. So, you know, sending prayers his way.
Yeah. You had a better look at it than anybody, and you identified it earlier. Do you think it was that first kick that he threw?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I did the UFC podcast before I came here, and me and Wonderboy was talking about it. Even with him walking into the octagon, it didn't seem, you know, it just didn't seem like the same Conor. You know, like I thought, he was stood there to fight, but like I thought he'd be a little bit more rowdy, a little bit more crazy. He looked like really, really calm, like super calm. So I was just kind of like, oh wow, let's see how this goes. And then of course I knew he was gonna attack me with something, and it was that kick, so, you know, it sucks.
Max, can you just go back? You had said what Conor was saying. He was saying, fight, let's go. But can you just walk us through when you were talking to the ref, telling him, hey, his kids are in the audience. Did you actually say that to the ref? I don't want, or what did the ref say?
Yeah, I told the ref, ref, stop the fight. He doesn't want to fight. I was like, bro, his demeanor is right. And then he said fight the first time. So I was like, okay, stand up. So I backed up, he stand up, and then he tried to do this hop step where he hopped forward, hopped back, and then he did it again. And then when he went back, he just kind of grabbed his leg, you know, and he screamed. He's like, and I was telling the ref, come on, bro. Like, what you want me to keep it? Like, this guy he brought his kids to the fight. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to beat up a wounded dog.
It's the leg that he broke.
Oh, and now look, that's gonna do it. Oh my God.
No! No!
Oh my God, McGregor's done already. Well, he's finished.
Yeah. It's his bad leg.
Is that it? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Great card, unbelievable. I mean, the Paddy Pimblett thing right before, you just feel it all in the air. Here we go. I mean, I was expecting at least a one-round war, or, you know, who knew what Conor was capable of as far as cardio or whatever else after a 5-year layoff. And, well, there you go. I mean, we're assuming blown ACL. I'm no doctor, but that's what I figured when I saw it, and doctors think the same thing too.
Hey guys, let's give it up for Conor McGregor, guys. What an absolute animal. When we were sitting here, we kept trying to say, I'm trying to come on fight, and he came right down to fight off. Hey, but you guys are lucky, because there's going to be a Holloway versus McGregor 3 now. Let's get to the fucking money, boys. I understand you'd like to see everything.
In the main event of UFC 329, where Conor McGregor... This shit meant something to me, man. I needed this. I've been waiting for this comeback for so long. It didn't even feel real the entire fight week. And this is the result we get. This is the worst possible outcome of this main event. I see people that don't like Conor McGregor rejoicing at this outcome. You didn't even see him or get to see him get beaten up in that fight. This is the worst case scenario for any McGregor fan and any McGregor hater. We just straight up didn't get a main event. After 5 years out, all of the hype, the nostalgia, I was singing to myself this morning. Do you think about the days just thinking about McGregor's 145 run? And this is the result we get, man. It felt too good to be true. And then all of a sudden, the fight starts. And I'm going to show you what happens. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what happened in the fucking fight.
Experts had seen the Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway bout as the sort of clash UFC savants craved, and they had split into two clear camps. Some had praised McGregor's precise timing and one-shot finishing ability, while others had banked on Holloway's non-stop pressure and volume to carry the fight on points. They had framed the matchup as a battle between finishing power and exhaustive pace, predicting it would either explode early or grind down to a stylistic verdict.
Speaking of Conor, how well does he do next week?
Boy, we're going to find out. We're really going to find out what's going on if it gets into the second and third rounds. That's when we're really going to find out.
We'll know.
We'll know immediately.
At that point.
But I mean, whether or not he can really fight for 5 rounds. Like against a
don't
guy
know
with
if he can, man.
With a great gas tank.
Yeah.
After 5 years of tearing your body up.
It's you don't know, right? Because it's all in a vacuum. Like there's some training footage of him beating guys up that you've seen, but who knows what he actually has been doing. We know he's been partying, but has he also been like really training? Because if he's been really training, and he shocks everybody because he's still got his skills.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan had sounded both curious and cautious about this fight. According to Rogan, the real test would arrive in the second and third round. The Irish champion flashed his old timing, but faded when Holloway turned up the tempo. He noted training footage only told part of the story, and, while McGregor still possessed lethal skills, the question of whether he could sustain 5 hard rounds against a relentless gas tank had ultimately decided the night.
But, you know, it's a tall order to take on Max Holloway after he was just the BMF champion. He beat Dustin Poirier. Yeah, he lost to Ilya. But, like, you look at the wins that guy's had in his career and how he's looked since their first fight. This is a totally different human being.
Yeah.
This is a world champion, like one of the all-time featherweight greats.
I think if Conor don't knock him out early, he's in for a long night.
Yeah.
Max can fight with no weight cut.
That's what I'm saying.
Max might never get tired.
People are saying like, oh yeah, but what about moving up weight? I'm like, that's great for him. He don't have to cut no weight
for him. It's great for both of them.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the future. I would hope guys would abandon weight cutting. I really do. And I think the UFC should accommodate it by letting go of these ridiculous weight limits. Let's
Yeah.
just find out what guys weigh.
Yeah.
Let's find out what guys weigh and like have them fight.
Rogan saw Holloway as the stiffer task than most others expected. He highlighted that Holloway entered with top-tier wins and championship mileage. Once Holloway's non-stop stamina and output accumulated, Rogan argued Conor's only realistic path was an early knockout. Rogan had further suggested that Holloway's ability to fight without a severe weight cut would favor a marathon-style contest rather than a short burst.
Conor, I've never seen you on fight week not sucked out, bro. This has got to feel great. I admire that you're coming at 170, by the way.
I feel good. 170 is a very good cut for me. It's very minimal, and you know, there's a little bit, but not much at all. I'm feeling good, strong, fast, energetic, and that helps in the media obligations and all the things that come with fight week.
He looks happy.
Yes.
You look happy. You don't look like you're worrying about the weight cut. You don't worry about anything. You just look like you're really enjoying this.
I have supreme confidence, and it's not for nothing. It is from my meticulous preparation for this bout. We have prepared very meticulously, very detailed, a lot of analyst work, and we have some good work here to show on Saturday night. And I'm excited for it.
Furthermore, Chael Sonnen had raised questions about McGregor's weight and energy levels. His claims of feeling strong, fast, and energetic were a key factor to watch. Sonnen saw that McGregor had meticulous, detail-heavy precision that showed up in his timing and movement. McGregor's confidence and sharpness could force respect for a single big shot, but he had also warned that those early advantages might narrow if Holloway's relentless output and endurance asserted themselves.
You almost came from the perspective that you were in Max's shoes, that you had lost the first one. I got to remind you, you won the first one, but what is it about Max? How did they draw you into this opponent?
You know, Max has an impressive body of work, and you know, I beat him before, but he's gone on to do great things since. You know, what better way to prove my greatness by doing Max again the second time in a more devastating way, in a more extraordinary way, and then it can be in comparison to all the other combatants he's fought. You know, they can compare it, how he fought this guy, how that went, and now here comes the Mac to show the levels again. So that was fuel for me, rising in the morning for my training camp and, you know, getting the work in.
McGregor took the time to remind everyone that he had beaten Holloway before, and that belief would fuel a more devastating second showing. Motivation that would sharpen his aggression and push him to prove his greatness all over again. Commentators had flagged that leaning on his legacy could create early sparks, but also that it might invite an opponent to absorb pressure, adapt, and force the contest into a sustained test rather than a single highlight moment.
He's a lot bigger man than Max is, and his body type, pure muscle. Who could go out and do more bench press? Who could do more push-ups or more pull-ups? Conor McGregor, there's your answer. So, first thing I noticed, right? First thing I'm doing is I'm looking at it, and then we start talking. He was extremely disciplined. If I was to describe this interview, that's the word I would use. And I don't know that I've ever done an interview that I would ever describe it as disciplined, but he was. He's got an approach. He's got an approach in a way that he is going to go into the fight, and your approach is so important. I'll go back, but Crow Cup, Fedor, Randy Couture, many times won fights before it started, and they won it with their approach to the fight. They were able to relax to an extent that allowed them to breathe better, to listen better, to focus more. It's a very big deal.
Additionally, Sonnen held the candle up to McGregor's physical traits as well. His more muscular frame and disciplined camp became pivotal factors to watch. Physicality and composure would show up in McGregor's early poise and power, allowing him to control the center and land meaningful shots. Sonnen had warned, however, that such an approach only counted as long as Holloway's volume and conditioning didn't shift the fight's momentum in the later rounds.
I would say this last 6 months training and how he's approached it might be the hardest and most dedicated 6 months he's done since I've known him. I don't say that lightly.
Wow. Even Aldo, you know, all
just
those...
that the way he has been the last 6 months has been different.
Okay.
It really has. And y'all can say what you like, but they'll see. I believe you will see the result of that work.
Solidifying McGregor's credibility even further, John Kavanagh. McGregor's head coach had heavily praised the final 6 months of preparation and ultimately predicted that the fruit of his labor would show up on fight night. The sharper entries and improved conditioning were direct results of that work and expected it to give McGregor an early to mid-fight finish. Kavanagh had nonetheless acknowledged that while meticulous training could elevate competitiveness, it would need to hold through deep rounds to be decisive.
I'm not sitting here glazing Conor McGregor. I am telling the truth. The way that he's handled these massive moments in his career truly is unbelievable. Doesn't seem to care, doesn't bother him one little bit.
I'm back to knock the dust off those red panties, baby. Call them wife, baby, we did it. McGregor's home.
But he's been away for 5 years now. He's almost 38 years old. There's a lot of unanswered questions. Has he still got it? Did he push himself enough in training camp? Max Holloway's been on a tear. He became the BMF. He beat Dustin Poirier, the man that knocked out or beat Conor McGregor twice in a row. And of course, as I say, he's pushing 40 years old. Now, cardio. That's always been an issue for Conor McGregor. Again, not talking shit. You can't be a sprinter and a marathon runner at the same time. You have two different types of body types. Simple as that. Conor McGregor is extremely explosive. That's why he's knocked out so many people in the first round. Max Holloway has no problem going the distance. He has no problem landing the most strikes in UFC history. That's what he has done. He will hit you hundreds of times in the face. He will break you down, and that's why in the last few seconds, he points at the ground and says, let's dance. Come on, let's go. Because by this point, you're damaged goods, right? Whereas Max Holloway doesn't take much damage. He's just piecing you up all night.
Similarly, Michael Bisping had taken the time to warn everyone that McGregor's sprinter-like explosiveness might flash in short bursts, but might be hindered by his vices, cardio, and age. McGregor could land heavy shots early, yet struggle to maintain pace against Holloway. The opponent's durability and accumulation would become decisive factors as the rounds progressed. Bisping had emphasized that the matchup favored sustained output over one-off power, making the later rounds the critical measuring stick.
It's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm excited to see Conor back. You know, he looks healthy, he looks committed. Being on the Conor card, having fighters on the Conor card just raises the stock for everybody.
Yep.
The MMA space is better with Conor McGregor in it. You know, I'm rooting for him, right? I don't have a dog in the fight. Yeah. I just want to see a good fight. I want to see him healthy, and I want to see him go out and be able to compete and put on a good show.
5 years out, though.
It's tough.
Injuries, all the other stuff that he's done. More often than not, that doesn't go well.
Right.
Max has fought 8 times since his last fight.
Crazy.
And his last fight was in March. I know it wasn't a good performance, but he's still very much in his prime. He's not getting smoked by guys. He's knocking people out. Do you lean Max?
I lean Max.
Okay.
Definitely. Just because of all those scenarios, right? But like, I think a committed, focused Conor McGregor is very dangerous.
How do you feel about Max at 70? Does that matter?
I don't think it really matters. It's like when Myron fought Sadiq, right? We fought him at 55, but they're both 45, right? And then I remember Myron's like, I feel way better at 55. I'm like, bro, you fought a 45er. It's just a different weight class.
Yeah, it's because Conor's not a real 170 pounder,
Exactly.
right? So it doesn't. It's a wash.
Conversely to Bisping, Eric Nixick had expressed optimism about the Irish fighter's health and commitment to the stakes of the rematch. He believed that McGregor's focused moments and preparation could make the early rounds dangerous and competitive. Nixick had also cautioned that those flashes would need to be sustained to counter Holloway's recent activity and high output, warning that volume and consistent ring time could ultimately carry more weight than isolated explosion.
I don't understand why everyone's just like, oh, this man ain't nothing. Nah, he is something. I would have liked this to be a 3-rounder for him coming back, and not a 5-rounder. I would have loved a 3-rounder, but...
You're right. You're right. You're fucking right. I didn't even think about that. You're so right, dude.
Because I think a 3-rounder for Conor, I think he's sharp enough to convince... Like, Henry, we know because we've been there. We know that championship rounds. A lot changes. when you get to that third one, you're like, oh, I'm done. Nope, you got 2 more. That's when the thoughts start to waver. That's real championship rounds where you got to really dig here. And for 3 rounds, I think Conor, yes, he's sharp enough and he's powerful enough in his mind that he could will himself through those 3. It's those extra 2 that really separate the men from the boys. So, man, I'm excited, but I just didn't like the way that everyone's counting him out here. I didn't like that. And listen, I love Max. I'm a big Max fan, but I just don't like the way that they're counting Conor out here.
Yeah, but I can see why, Kamaru. How long is it? It's been 5 years?
5 years.
Jumping back to the previous angle, Kamaru Usman argued that a 3-round comeback would suit McGregor's and his explosiveness would be most effective early on in the fight. While McGregor was sharp and violent enough to make the initial rounds competitive, the championship rounds would favor a deeper gas tank and steadier output. Usman had emphasized that those extra 2 rounds were the decisive variable. What looked plausible in a 3-round fight might not hold up over 5. On the flip side, Henry Cejudo had been openly skeptical about McGregor's comeback and sided with ring rust, blunting the consistent urgency required for a 5-round war. The sport had moved on, and Cejudo even went as far as to suggest that McGregor would need something akin to a miracle to overcome an opponent with polished timing and conditioning. Cejudo had acknowledged McGregor could flash dangerous moments, but he had warned those flashes would have to be sustained to counteract a disciplined, high IQ fighter. Continuing on, Tim Welch had envisioned McGregor to look sharp early, using his striking to make the opening rounds competitive. He had also warned that Holloway's pace and volume could become decisive as the fight deepened. Welch had expected the bout to shift around round 3 as sustained output and ring generalship began to tell, making the later rounds the true battleground. Michael Bisping and Adam Catterall collectively debated whether extended time away was something McGregor could overcome, as the 5 years were a tad bit too long to overlook. While McGregor's legacy and mental edge could produce dangerous early moments, consistent activity and pressure from an active opponent would likely expose any rust. Both had stressed that preparation and mindset could narrow gaps, but wouldn't automatically erase the disadvantages of long layoffs. Experts had spent the week split down the middle. Some predicted McGregor flashes would rekindle memories of his peak, while others forecasted that Holloway's relentless engine and volume would decide the fight. Analysts argued the matchup was a stylistic test, with one side betting on singular power and timing, the other on non-stop activity, and many said the bout would serve as a lesson about matchup making, longevity, and the risks of long layoffs. Fans predicted the contest would deliver drama and reset the conversation about both fighters' next moves. So, after hearing all the predictions and breakdowns, the question is simple: who actually read this fight, right? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us who you think came closest to calling it. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more fight analysis and deep dives just like this.